the Sister Eveleen Retreat House. Tell us about the importance of retreats in the spiritual life.
Retreats for me are a place where we actually leave behind the propositions of Christianity, the understandings, the intellect, and we reconnect with the heart. And the heart is the place where, well, it's very mysterious to us and often confounds us and confuses us. But that's actually where we reconnect with God, and it's something that we can experience, and not only experience, but it's universal. Like everyone can have this connection, but to do that, we need to turn down the noise, we need to turn down the distraction, and we need to look within.
Okay.
And I think that's the place to start.
So that's great. What's the connection between Christian belief and this experience of God?
For me, it goes to the contemplative monastic tradition almost. These people who left the world so that they could just speak to God, so they can just pray. And they found that over time, that was something that transformed them. It's not something we should all do. We shouldn't all go off to monasteries, but we all need an aspect of the monastic in our lives, whether it's just a regular time of prayer in the day, or if it's taking time out to go on retreat, because it's that experience that transforms and changes us, not just understanding the right facts or understanding.
Absolutely.
We need to actually authentically experience that before those propositions, that doctrine makes sense.
And do you find people are thirsty for that kind of experience?
Hugely thirsty. And I think that's why people are going to the contemplative, traditions, Buddhism, Taoism, the East, because they want that experience.
Right.
And we need to provide that experience for them, because the Christian tradition is rooted in that experience.
Yeah. And that was the way you came back to the church?
Yeah. So I grew up in the church, left the church in my 20s, and then I practiced Buddhism, studied Buddhism, and was on a 10-day silent Buddhist retreat that I reconnected with God and came back to Christianity.
Right, so Buddhism led you back to Christ.
That's right, yeah.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, and I think I'm not the only one, because, for all the differences in Buddhism and stuff, and the things that we wouldn't have in the Christian tradition, there is an element of it which is deeply experiential and based on practice. Basically, a practice of prayer. And I think that's something we need to reconnect
our faith,
to.
In a way, if it doesn't change us, it doesn't transform us in some ways, it's something fundamentally wrong. It's how I would see it.
And also, it's like, well, then why would we do it? This change isn't something that just happens to us after we die.
Yeah.
Heaven is something we can touch while we're here.
Yeah.
And then we need to allow it to touch us. It's not something that we get to choose. It's something that we need to allow to open up within us.
Brilliant. How would you see this kind of reawakening about the spiritual life? How does that link in with the regeneration of our diocese?
I think for me, what I needed when I was away from the church wasn't people telling me what to think. It was about giving me a space to open me up to that experience.
Okay.
And I think we need to provide that space for people to be open to the experience, and then trust the Spirit to do it for us.
Yeah.
It's not something that we have to convince people of.
Yeah. So as clergy, we need to somehow offer spaces, context for people to explore.
And a safe, open space.
Okay. Yeah.
And also time. These things take time to really, grow in us.
Yeah.
And, I think we need to be patient, open the space, let God do the work.
Wow.
But hold the container for people.
Okay. Thank you so much, Eddie, for your comments.
Thanks, man.
God bless you.
Yeah, God bless you.